Mike's Milestones continue tonight with the mystery of the D.B. Cooper hijacking. Thanksgiving Eve, 1971, a passenger named Dan Cooper hijacked a Northwest Orient Airlines flight bound from Portland to Seattle.
And with a $200,000 ransom, he jumped out of that plane somewhere over Southwest Washington.
And Mike joins us right now. Mike, you're going to retire the end of this month, and this case still won't be solved. Are you disappointed about that?
That is disappointing. I've always dreamed of scoring an exclusive on this Cooper story. Most of us enjoy a good mystery. When we read or watch one, though, we sort of expect that it will be solved at the end. Oddly, however, the hijacking of Flight 305 is a case that many people do not want solved. For them, that would spoil the mystery. The crime was committed 5 months before I returned to KOIN from military service. Soldiers from Fort Lewis and FBI agents were only then starting an extensive ground search. That was a big head start for the hijacker. They searched thoroughly for 18 days. They even used a submarine to check the bottom of Lake Merwin. Nothing. Then pilot William Scott recalculated his flight path. They were looking in the wrong place. When a little boy discovered part of the ransom money on this Columbia River beach, it changed the theories about where Cooper came down. They had been looking along the Lewis River, but that's downstream. It was determined Cooper came down in the Washougal River Valley, upstream from a Vancouver beach, where young Brian Ingram, 9 years after the hijacking, found $5,800 of the loot.
I was going to build a fire, and I had some wood in my arm, and I got ready to set it down, and my son ran up and said, "Wait a minute, Daddy."
Cooper had almost a month to get rid of the money before the FBI released the serial numbers worldwide. Some amateur sleuths believe Cooper didn't care about the money, that he planted it there just to prove he got away with it.
The description on one wire service, master criminal.
FBI agent in charge of the Portland investigation, Ralph Himmelsbach, believes Cooper was just a rotten, sleazy crook. He believes the hijacker died in his jump. But what happened to his parachute?
This is the interesting part. I mean, it is in the jump zone where we believe Cooper landed. It certainly is right there.
4 years ago, I thought I had scored my exclusive. We had driven to Seattle to interview Agent Larry Carr, who'd taken charge of the Cooper investigation. He showed us a piece of parachute just unearthed by a plow in a field near Amboy, Washington. Carr could hardly restrain his excitement.
And then his kids came back and were playing down the road, found a piece of material sticking. I started pulling on it and started pulling and pulling and pulling, and then realized it's a parachute.
Experts, though, said it wasn't the parachute. And my exclusive was yesterday's news. In August of last year, Marla Cooper claimed her uncle L.D. Cooper was the hijacker. She gave the FBI his guitar strap to compare his DNA and fingerprints with those found in the hijacked jetliner. No match could be made. And the Bureau admitted for the first time that it can't say for sure that the forensics evidence obtained from Dan Cooper's tie was his. We may never know his identity. The FBI has investigated more than 1,000 suspects. I confronted one of them, Ted Mayfield, who lives in Oregon. Army Green Beret, experienced pilot, master skydiver, with a criminal record. I have to ask you this question. Are you D.B. Cooper?
No, I am not. I am not quite that clever.
He had the skills to do it, but didn't match the profile. Now, you may be wondering what I think happened to D.B. Cooper. My guess is that he came down in the Columbia River, was visible from above, and was drowned by that heavy money sack around his waist, the body then pulling the parachute under the water. The current pulling loose some of those $20 bills, eventually depositing them on that Vancouver beach. That's my theory.
And I actually think that's a pretty good theory because, you know, they have never found the parachute, although they thought they were close to 4 years ago when they found that parachute that they unearthed, but that wasn't it. Mike, are you going to miss not covering D.B. Cooper stories? Because at least once a year, you have at least 2 D.B. Cooper stories.
Right.
Every 10 years, maybe I'll come back if I can still get here.
I was going to say, if something cracks in this case, you better get back in here because we want you to cover it.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. What a great memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. And we mentioned that Mike is retiring at the end of this month, so we're going to continue with these wonderful stories, Mike's Milestones. Tomorrow on KOIN Local 6 at 6, Mike is going to look back at a group that terrorized Oregon for nearly 4 years. They became known as a religious cult with a political agenda. Mike's Milestones every weekday for the next 2 weeks here at 6 o'clock. Thanks, Mike.
It is must-see television, everybody. Well,